Hey everybody, this is The Great Escape, and welcome to the very first video on my YouTube channel where I'm going to be doing some Let's Play with various different PlayStation 4 games. And as you can see, we are starting off today in Minecraft. And I thought for my first video I'd spend some time going through what is probably the game I spend the most time on my PlayStation, which is Minecraft for PlayStation 4 edition, and give you a kind of a brief tour of my world and my base and all the various different farms and things I've built. Mostly because I'm kind of thinking about getting some ideas about how to expand or improve the base, as well as once the new updated Aquatic comes out, which hopefully will be soon, maybe starting a new world from scratch and just doing a Let's Play series from there. But as we go today, I'm going to give you kind of a brief, maybe 10-15 minute tour of everything and show you where we're at, and we'll go from there. So starting off, we are up on top of what used to be the tallest structure in my Minecraft world, which you're going to see what it looks like from the ground in a little bit, and we have a creeper hole. That's unfortunate. But this was, it's a good place to start because it gives you an overview of everything. And I picked up Minecraft for the first time about 2 years ago. Somebody suggested it to me and I was like, I don't know, that seems kind of like childish and lame. And man, was I wrong, because the moment I started playing about 2 years ago, I got hooked. And as the sun sets beautifully over this base, you can see I spawned right there. And unlike people who know to go off in search of good places to, do your building and things, I was like, oh, I spawned there, so I built here. But I was really fortunate because this is a great spawn zone. You've got a huge spruce forest that stretches off into the distance. You got all the wood you could possibly need. It's surrounded by this desert on all sides. There's a swamp biome there. Off in the distance, just beyond the render, there's a jungle biome, which happened to have this stronghold where I had my end portal, so it was pretty easy to get to the end. And so this was actually a really fortunate spawning area. Now, as you can kind of see, it's an overview of my base. I built my first little hut here, and I've expanded it to this house, which you're going to see, and I don't know if mobs can spawn up here or not. And then I've got an industrial zone on this side, with my huge mob farm floating like a zeppelin or something above it. And then, well, down there's the industrial zone, and then kind of lets my nephews, like, he comes on here sometimes and plays with me, and that's his little house that he's built. But we'll give a little brief tour. Now, some of the buildings that are on this server are, oh, maybe they're a year or 2 years old. Some of them are pretty spanking brand new. So here's what we were standing on top of, which is an hourglass. It's got lava at the top. There's a park above it. And then it comes down into this big, glorious room, which was initially going to be a kind of minecart transfer zone. But since I have Elytra, who needs the minecarts, you know? This is not that anymore, but it might one day become maybe a villager trading zone or something where I can put a bunch of villagers in here and trade, hopefully to get, mending books or a silk touch book or things like that. And they are all coming from here, which is my villager breeder, which isn't the most efficient design, but I did come up with that, and it seems to work. So as we go off in here, the first zone we'll look at is my kind of residential complex. Then we'll go to the industrial and then other areas. Now, the residential zone really suffers from the, hey, I just started Minecraft and I want to build some pretty cool things, and I don't care what they look like, I just want to build them. So this house really started out as just this little, thing right here. Didn't even have the glass panes or anything like that. So, and it was all, chunky, and I've kind of added some depth to it or things, but it still does not reflect the best possible building that you could do, or that I could do on Minecraft. As you can see, maybe that little tower over there is a better representation, but I mean, what house doesn't need a talking dragon head over the top? And then, obviously I said, hey, I'm going to build a floating island because that seems cool. And even though it doesn't fit in with anything, there is a floating island up there that's completely useless because I don't ever go up there. And there's, I think inside the island there is a little bed and maybe some storage, but I haven't been up there in months, so who knows. But that's there. Now, you can kind of see the hints to my farming going on. You've got an item stream that's shooting off into the distance, and it actually goes all the way across to the other side of the base, way over there. You've got a little, beets, carrots, and potato farm here, which I don't use very often, but they're there. And then back there, floating above the wall a little bit, is my favorite, which is my iron farm. and it does produce a lot of iron. It's a really effective system for the PlayStation. This used to have, I think, maybe this many stacks of iron in it, but in the past couple days I've used a lot. I've built maybe 300 hoppers, so a lot of that's been taken out, but it's quickly replenishing. Let's go ahead and make it daytime so you can kind of see everything a little better. Obviously inside the house, again, like this, my little starting hovel was here. It had dirt floors, and it's come a long way from there, but it's still not super beautiful. Did add an enchanting table up here with you know, your bookcases, and then I've got my horde of dogs, which didn't give me the achievement, even though I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all sitting right here in a little pack. But it didn't give you what I needed. Now, let's look at the industrial zone. The first... Oh, creeper. Let's see, where you at, buddy? So the first industrial farm that I built was this baby right here. And it's actually... I don't like the fact that that creeper was there. This guy here, and he kept me supplied with food for a while, just some cooked chicken. But you can see all my farms dotted around. I've got a cactus farm up at the top here, which auto collects those cactuses, obviously. I can flood this wheat field and get all that wheat. I have to replant it, of course. A manual sugarcane farm, but I think I want to replace it with maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like maybe 9 or 10 plant automatic farm, because I think that might actually be way more efficient than collecting the sugarcane like that. But it works. And then here's a cocoa bean and a nether root. They're actually linked into the same redstone signal, so they both flood together. I don't ever use... Well, I rarely use cocoa beans and rarely use netherwort unless I'm doing potions. So I don't use this very often, but it does work as an effective system. And then here is a pumpkin and melon farm, which is currently shut off. Partly because I've got more pumpkin and melon than I could possibly ever use, but also because pumpkins seem to be breaking my item elevators. They get into the dropper, and the dropper just kicks, but no pumpkins come out. But all those farms kick into a dropper system that kicks in this item elevator, which goes across like that, and into the other side of the base, and into a storage system, which I'll show you in a minute. Up here, this is where the drops from that mob farm are going to come in. It's a pretty effective system. Obviously, back before I built my big storage system, all those drops were coming in here. But now they... Oh, there he goes. Now they get taken off into the storage system, and that's pretty effective. Over here, you've got a large-scale spruce jungle tree farm. Manually take it down, but you get about a stack and a half of wood from that every time, and it's a really great system. Have a sheep farm here, which keeps getting destroyed by wolves because I'm in a spruce wood biome, and they just spawn right there, and then they kill all the sheep. And then over here you've got a mushroom farm. You just pop the mushroom in there and then bone meal it, and you get a big mushroom that you can easily take down. Eventually I'm going to surround this with you know, a water stream that runs over here into some chests, so I don't have to run around and collect all of it, because why not automate more things so that you can just do something else? But as we're looking at it, I think that's the end of the industrial zone. So all of those industrial things are coming in, and they're going into a system that goes down here. Now, initially, this was just my, you know, kind of storage area, manual storage of items, kind of small, you know, little smelter array system here, which is completely effective for what I was using it for when I first started playing. I like the design of this room. I thought it was the first time I really kind of put things together and started playing around with design, so I really like that. But this no longer was enough for me, so I've expanded that, and eventually all this is going to get taken out. I'm going to put a super smelter in here with, I think, 10 furnaces that'll all smelt at the same time and be highly efficient. So that's probably next on my to-do list of things once I get enough iron for all the hoppers. Over here I've got an AFK fish farm, which is really effective on the PlayStation 4. Great source of experience, as well as, most importantly, books. So I've got books and books and books and books from this thing, and it doesn't take very long to get some pretty good books. It's just, you know, random generation, luck of the draw of what type of book you're going to get, but it is an effective system. And all you need is a rubber band on your controller, and you can just, well, get rid of the water in there on accident. That's beautiful. I'll have to replace that. And also the string. But that works. And then this is the newest section of my base, which I just built in the last couple days, which is a item storage system. And it's actually 2 storage systems put together. Some of those farms, I think the Melon and Pumpkin farm was Il Mango's design. I think that might be the only farm over there. Oh, the big mob farm, that's definitely Mumbo Jumbo's design. This one here is an item sorter that was designed by Tango Tech for the Java edition, but it works perfectly well on the PlayStation 4, and it's a really genius system. You kind of fill in the chests with what you want to go in there, and as the items are kind of flushed through the system, if I have a torch, it'll drop in here. You know, if I have a netherrack, it'll drop in here. So it's a really genius system, and it just, you know, pop your items in there, and they get sorted through. Now, I didn't need, you know, a whole room of that, because these are modular, and you could build just one if you wanted to, and I built 4, but I didn't need, you know, 20. So this wall is a multi-item storage system from Mumbo Jumbo, which is for all my farm items. So this whole column here auto sorts and is just, you know, bone. This one's just string, you know, gunpowder, etc. as you go down the line. And that's for all those items where once all my farms are on and turning on and I'm in the area and they're loaded, this will be really useful because it'll store all those items. And then this wall, even though it looks like this one, is just for overflow. So for any items that are not sorted into this system or are not into this system, they just go over here and they just drop into this chest, and once that chest fills up, they're going to this one, etc. And occasionally, like this one piece of stone, an item will move through this system too quickly and not get sorted, but it only is about maybe every 1 out of every 100 items or so that don't work, but it's kind of there. So that's pretty much all of the base area. This is my world map, which is fully explored except for this one little area where there's a glitch in the system. And part of the reason why I'm thinking about starting a new Minecraft world is that this map is kind of boring. It did have 1, 2, 3 woodland mansions, which were fun to explore, and a lot of these, like every single one of these bodies of water has a ocean monument in it, and some of them have double ocean monuments. In fact, I have an ocean monument base down here, which I'll show you on another video another time, but it's got a double ocean monument right there, and then there's a double ocean monument right there. So there's a lot of ocean monuments on this base, but not much else. There's not a single mushroom biome, there's no ice spikes or anything like that, and so I think when the new update comes out, again, soon, right? I'm hoping that I can start a new world that will have some of those varied biomes that I'm looking for. And then this is my nether room, which is inspired by the upside down portal in Stranger Things. So thank you so much for tuning in to my very first video on my Let's Play. Again, this has been The Great Escape, and if you liked the video, you know, drop a subscription or maybe even a like. Give me a comment about something you think I could build on my server or on my world, or some ideas that I could start making a list of things when I start my new world that I could do, you know, starting on day 1. And maybe do some streams or things like that, live streams, as I build and do that. But if you enjoyed, drop a like, and this has been The Great Escape, and I'll see you around.